Welcome guys to my channel. My name is Victoria and right now I will be doing a monthly favorites video. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is Vesica Institute course, Essential Spiritual Practices. This was first introduced to me by a YouTuber, Bridget Nielsen. This girl has been a very big inspiration to me. She talks about things that I really love, talking about extraterrestrials, star seeds, you know, all that good juicy stuff. So when she said to check out Robert J. Gilbert's courses, I was like, yes, okay, let me do it. This Vesica Institute course is what Robert J. Gilbert believes is the essentials for learning about spirituality. And it's really related to Rosicrucianism and Kriya Yoga. It's broken up into 5 different weeks, and he gives you different exercises to do each different week, which I really enjoy. You get to experientially feel what each exercise is doing, and he really encourages you to check in with your energy before and after each practice so that you know how each practice has affected you energetically. Another thing that I really like about this course is that Robert J. Gilbert doesn't really expect you to believe things without thinking critically. He's a hermeticist, which is of the idea that you sample from different ideologies and you take what you like and you leave the rest. That is the Essential Spiritual Practices by Vesica Institute. I super enjoy it so far. I bought it last year in May and am doing it right now because it's about to expire. The next thing on my list for the favorites of this month, the month of May 2021, is this bad boy right here. I got right here. A Course in Miracles. I went to Value Village 6 months ago and I purchased a book called The Disappearance of the Universe by Gary Renard, in which he talks about how this entire universe is essentially of our own creation, because we decided to separate from the Godhead source, whatever you wish to call it. Now we're fearful of the consequences, and we've split ourselves into essentially what is the ego, and we're no longer listening to our intuition, our higher self, the Holy Spirit, the connection and the voice for God. So I read this book by Gary Renard, and it really blew my mind away. It was kind of depressing at first because it's basically saying that everything is not real. All of my loved ones, all the things that I care about aren't real. But that's also saying that all the suffering, all the bad things in this world is also not real. Because there's the argument, if God is love, what accounts for all this hatred and suffering in the world? And the answer is that, according to A Course in Miracles, God didn't create all of this. We did, because we wanted to go out on our own and separate from God. And our ego has created this entire reality that we're living in. And according to A Course in Miracles and Gary Renard, which his book, The Disappearance of the Universe, is based upon and keeps referring back to, is that because we created everything, we created this hatred. But this is a dream and an illusion. And just like a person sleeping, we're not aware of our bed that we're in or of the room that we're in while we're sleeping. It's gone to us, and the only real thing is within the dream. But as soon as we wake up, the bed, the reality of our room comes back to us as it never really left. And that's the basic premise behind A Course in Miracles, is that this is all a dream. We are actually in the kingdom of heaven, and we've never really left it. So this is a channeled book from 1965 to 1972. This was scribed and written by Helen Schucman. She was a psychology professor. She didn't really want to do this. The information just kept pouring out of her, and with help from a couple other people, she was able to get all of this down. And it's broken up into a couple different parts. There's the text, workbook for students, and then the manual for teachers. Since I purchased this book in February, I've been reading a section a day. The book is meant to be repetitive, so it's repeating a lot of the same things over and over again as to kind of ingrain these ideas. You kind of are defensive about these ideas. We've ingrained the opposite in our minds. So based on repetition, we're learning these new ideas that are in this book. This book is really, really easy to read. I love everything that it has to do with the message. It's beautiful, and I treat it with utter respect. Number 3 is Reality Rifting Podcast with Guru Jagat. Guru Jagat has seriously been an inspiration in my life. I have a memory that I'll never forget when I was walking along, doing my thing, when I was in a chapters, looking for a book, and across the room I saw her book. I saw her image on her book, and I recognized her face from the Gaia Network, which was a subscription-based service, kind of like the spiritual Netflix, if you will. And I saw her on this subscription-based service. I recognized her face. I purchased this book. This book was called Invincible Living, and it was all pertaining to Kundalini Yoga and certain practices to really have a more vibrant, fun, healthy life. When I read that book, I was so inspired that within a couple months, I believe I purchased this book in March of 2017, maybe 6 months after it was published, and within a couple months I had registered, signed up and everything for my first Kundalini Yoga teacher training, which was a whole other thing in itself. It's completely changed the way that I see life and was the first tool that I really put into my toolbox. Her podcast was really refreshing and beautiful to me, because my journey with Kundalini Yoga so far has been very interesting. Over a period of time, I started to see the teachings as kind of harsh and dogmatic, especially with the coming out of this book, where a lady, she talks about her experiences growing up with the person who brought Kundalini over to North America in the 60s, Yogi Bhajan, and her experiences were not good. There's been lots of allegations against this man who is now deceased. So when I found out these things, I was kind of heart-shattered and thinking all of these teachings from him are now tainted because the things that he allegedly was doing with these women. There was a period of maybe 6 months where I had backed off of my Kundalini Yoga practice, and before I was doing it every single day for years since I started practicing it. I rediscovered Guru Jagat through her podcast Reality Riffing. I saw that she was talking about things not just pertaining to Kundalini Yoga, but about things that I am greatly interested in, like extraterrestrial, topics about astrology. She invited onto her show one of my favorite authors, who I also saw on the Gaia Network, Barbara Handclough, which I admire and respect. Her podcast is absolutely beautiful. I've been binge watching it. I especially like the recent one that she's had with David Icke. It's been an utter inspiration to me. Super good podcast. Check it out. Next up, final thing, numero cuatro. And don't judge me because they're already open, but it's these things. I'm telling you, they're absolutely amazing. They're from Costco. Chalk XO Dark Chocolate Almond Butter Cups. I'm not a really big fan of peanut butter. And yeah, I like Reese's, but those are absolutely amazing. So I try to limit myself to a couple after dinner. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want me to do more videos like this, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. Much love. Bye now.